Canadian via the University of Wisconsin, world champion bronze medalist. First time any Canadian ever won a medal at 5,000 meters. He has absolutely owned this event in Canada going back to his junior days. We've seen him quite a bit on our Athletics Canada coverage. 310 is Chris Derrick out of Naperville, Illinois, Stanford University alum, three-time USA cross-country championship, world championship qualifier. His PR is 13:08:04. We should mention that Mo's PR, 13:01:74, and he set that at the Prefontaine meet here in Oregon back in 2016. Grant Fisher out of Calgary and Grand Blanc, Michigan, Stanford 2019. Ranked number 2 in the world, 13:11:68, did that last week. He's a pacer today, and that was his PR he set last Tuesday in this race. Ryan Hill out of North Carolina State, Hickory, North Carolina, number 4 in the world this year, 13:15:28, will also be pacing today. Evan Jaeger, the new American legend in the steeplechase. 1 year at the University of Wisconsin, turned pro, came here, and is an integral representative of the Bowerman Track Club. Number 3 in the world in 2017. His PR is 13:02:4. Woody Kincaid, big contender tonight out of Littleton, Colorado, ran for the Portland Pilots. 2018 USA 10K champ. His PR 12:58:10 in that race on the Nike campus last September. He's wearing 3:14, and Paul mentioned that documentary on the Portland 5000 last year. It's great. In fact, if you don't think you understand distance racing, watch it, and you will appreciate it so much. Lopez Lamong, 35 years young, out of the Sudan, northern Arizona. The amazing story of the lost boy, came to New York State and has become an American legend. 13 flat and 13 is his PR. He is definitely in the mix along with Kincaid and Ahmed tonight. Sean McGorty was brilliant here last Tuesday when 13:11:22 is the world leader now out of Fairfax, Virginia, Stanford 2018. He'll be a pacer tonight, although he might run really fast and stay in this. He's a pretty strong-looking 25-year-old right now. And Mark Scott, one of UK's best, originally University of Tulsa, 8-time All-American there, has a 13:08 5,000 indoor, and kind of want to see where he stacks up with fellow countryman Mo Farah.
Well, the women have laid the gauntlet to two women under the previous American record at this same distance, and now a very deep and talented group of men here towing the line for the same distance, 12.5 laps of the track here in twilight as we near the official sunset on this July evening of 8:59 p.m. And you mentioned it, Bob, too. I mean, there are some guys here who are listed as pacers, and I've done a lot of road races where we talk about, pacers who, are paid to stop running. In this case, they may not be paid to stop running, and if they feel good, they may just stay in this race. So it'll be interesting to see just how much racing we actually get, even from some of the guys who were told, just help the other guys along.
There's the gun, and we're underway with the men's 5,000. Well, you think about McGorty, who is on such a tear of the last couple of years. I would guess he will lead, although I see off the bat it is Ryan Hill, followed by Grant Fisher, and then Jaeger, and then McGorty in the 4th spot. So there's the Pacers taking their spots. And then Evan Jaeger, who's such a great racer. I don't know if he's going to go quite as fast, although he's 13:02.
Well, he's just back healthy, and that's the most important thing for him. And whether it's a blessing, he has a little bit more time to get back to the form he was in before that injury. We'll await the results of that over the next several months, leading hopefully to the Olympics in Tokyo next summer. But yeah, I mean, he's back and he's chomping to run, and again, being asked to be part of the pace-setting group here as they come through that first 400 in about 61 seconds.
Yeah, 61:62 was the projected split that would get us to right about 13 minutes.
Well, we'll set the stage of some of the storylines too, Bob. Only 8 Americans have ever broken 13 minutes at this distance. One of them in this race, that's Woody Kincaid. He's 3rd from the back, and The guy right in front of him, Lopez Lamong, is the one guy on the outside looking in. Oh, so close to that mark over the years. His personal best set in that event on the Nike campus last September, 13:00:13. So potential here to be adding to that list of legendary American runners underneath that legendary time of 13 minutes.
So we're in the single file here as we complete 800. And the Pacers led by Ryan Hill and Grant Fisher. 2:05, so it's 62-63 to get us started. Grant Fisher, of course, emerged as an excellent schoolboy runner. Was the Gatorade cross-country athlete of the year twice since we first saw him in the JO ranks. He is Canadian by birth, but family moved to Michigan, so he's always listed Grand Blanc as home base. And that's where he emerged as an American schoolboy runner. 10 laps to go. Went to Stanford. He's an NCAA champion as a sophomore. Second in NCAA cross country. He has that cross country grit, which translates well to the track. Because he takes the grit and then goes fast with it. Some cross-country runners don't do that. 3:07 for 1200, so a 62.
Yeah, dialing in on that 13-minute pace now. And Ryan Hill, now one of the veterans of this group, even though he's just 29 years of age, had that podium opportunity right here in his backyard when the World Indoor Championships came to Portland back in 2016, was the silver medalist at 3,000 meters, the longest distance competed in at that championship.
134 with 9 to go. Yeah, that was a big winner for him. He won the, and of course, when we had the U.S. Championships as well, that was a huge indoor year. And he wins U.S. and gets on the podium at Worlds. Then he doesn't make the Olympic team. But settled into the 5, World Championship qualifier in 17. Second at Nationals in 18. 4:09 for 1600. Another 62.
Yeah, they've really gotten in a rhythm here in this 62 pace. I mean, again, what we saw in the last race, you can take the standard projections we use in a pace chart and say, oh yeah, they're going to run 12:55. But again, pretty early on in this race, Andrew Bumbelow was on with us before the start of the racing. Said he really was going to wait till 3,000 meters to see where these guys are at. But these guys are in the same place that Andrew thought they would be, is running fast. And when you're talking 12:55, you start looking at 12:53.60, which is Legate's record, and that's stood for a while. And he's maybe getting a little nervous down in Arizona watching these guys run pretty fast. That record has stood since July of 2011.
So the 4 Pacers in front, and then it's Ahmed and Lamong. Give it a split, 5:11 for 2,000, another 62. And Mohammed, champion in this event as a junior, but he won the Canadian Junior 4 times. Qualified for the Olympics twice at 10K, once at 5K, and again the best Canadian finish ever at Worlds in 5,000. Very selective in his racing. We do a lot of Canadian events, and you'd always see his mark, but he only ran a few events a year. He really saved the races for the big time. He'd run a big race early in the year, then you wouldn't see him until Nationals at this distance. And you see him, he's in the 4th, but now he's in the 4th position. Very easy pace, he's got great length. 6:14 for 2,400, 63 the last split.
separation back from this lead group, Bob, to Chris Derrick and Ryan Hill behind them. You know, Derrick been doing a lot of training for the road, getting back on the track a little bit, and we've had, in the case of several of the athletes, a plan to only run 3,000 meters, just as part of in essence, a training opportunity on the track. But with that separation now not in the mix in this race, as they now have 6 laps to run.
So we have 3 pacers and then our 4 racers. Ahmed, Lamong, Kincaid, and Scott. That's the order. Coming to the 2,800. Grant Fisher setting the pace. I think he's the youngest guy out here tonight. 7:15 for 2,800. 61.
Yeah, they came through at 6:30.7 at the halfway point. So, you know, they are getting instructions on both the backstretch and here on the home stretch, kind of where they are at. They've staggered their coaching staff. The next person they'll hear from is someone they should definitely listen to. You'll see her come into picture right now, Shalane Flanagan, part of the coaching staff of the Bowerman Track Club, saying, hey guys, if we're going to break a record, let's get moving.
She might be a little tougher on them than Jerry.
So about 7:45, 7:46 at 3,000 meters. So they're, again, tip of the scales back under that 13-minute pace. And again, the 4 guys in the mix that are planning to complete the full race as the racers, all with the capability of running fast through that final 1,000 meters. You see Derrick and Hill have finished their 3,000-meter distance, and they'll turn to cheerleaders here on the infield as the running continues.
8:18 through 3,200, 63, and Ahmad and Lamong both making the push. Kincaid along with them. Scott has dropped off the pace.
Yeah, Scott dropped off pretty significantly here, so the racing continues. Now Fisher is going to move wide, and Jagger will now take a run. And Woody Kincaid actually also steps off the track. So we're now just down to Jagger, Ahmed, and Lamong.
Interesting. So Kincaid, who ran so well at this distance, this is not his race tonight. He ran with the leaders, but there'll be another day to go for the big mark. So here's Evan Jagger, America's best at the steeple. 9:19. We're back to 61s.
And Jagger now steps off the track. So a 2-man race. Little NAFTA action here with Ahmed of Canada and Lamong of the United States. Ahmed, of course, the national record holder of Canada, 12:58.16. And Lamong trying to become just the 9th American to break 13 minutes. Oh, so close last September. Now 3 laps to go.
9:50 at the line. And both these guys running in their form. Lamong always looks a little more physical, and of course he's more muscled at age 35. He looks, though, even at the age, he looks so incredibly fresh when he runs. And of course he's always competed with a lot of joy. And he's reeling in Ahmed here. 10:20 for 4,000. Another 61.
Yeah, definitely now under that 13-minute pace with a little margin here. And both looking very confident as they come down the main straightaway. Chris Derrick urging him on. Grant Fisher, Ryan Hill.
800 to go in the men's 5,000. Mohammed looking to lower his Canadian record. It is 13:01.7. And he's going to put the spurs to Lamong. Let's see if Lopez answers.
Well, Lopez losing some ground near on Ahmed, but he's going to probably get some instructions in his ear to say, just try to stay on, because the American record now in jeopardy as they've turned up the pace here in the last several laps. And with 600 to run, Lamong trying to find something left in the tank, and look at Mohammed.
Ahmed, fastest lap yet. That's a 60 flat as we got to 4,400 and 11:20. Well, this is what it's like for Ahmed running in Canada. He has a lot of races like this where he is on his own. And he is looking strong with one to go.
11:49 with a lap to go. Only 18 men in history have gone under 12:50 in the 5,000 meters.
If he runs another 60 here, he'll do it. And Lamong's picking it up as well, so we'll keep an eye on his mark. And the American record, 12:53.6. Canadian record, 13:01.7.
Well, Bob, in a year where, we're going to get few and far opportunities to get competition at a very high level, such a reflection on the depth here of the Bowerman Track Club as they're trying now to pull Lopez Lamong around as Ahmed comes down with a flurry.
That last lap was a 60. He's gone 61, 60, 60. Coming to the finish. What's the number going to be for Mohammed? 12:47, destroying his old Canadian record.
And here comes Lamong. Let's see if he can get through. It's going to be a sub 13.
Yes, 12:59. Ahmed officially 12:47.20. Lowers the Canadian record by 13.5 seconds. Lamong 12:58.78. He PRs by 2 seconds and gets in the under 13 club, and there's that teammates. Those people you train with all the time. What a group to have at the finish line with you.
Well, last 800 meters for Mohammed, 1:58 as he backs up a 60-second penultimate lap with a 58-second final lap. Puts him number 10 all-time on the world list. That's a new area record as he takes down the American record mark, even though he's the Canadian, but for the region record, he now has that as well. What a performance by Mohammed.
Well, we had 4 guys who were going to be in this neighborhood, but it became pretty apparent these were the 2 that were going to get racy. And Ahmed showing his ability to run out front, maintain pace, and he looks so comfortable. I mean, even when he shifts into gear, those last couple of, the 60 and the 58, it doesn't look like he's working that hard. He's that smooth. And again, he has that advantage of that stride and his length and his mechanics, always just beautiful.
Well, record-setting night, Bob. Such an amazing evening and kind of everything going according to plan. Didn't necessarily see everyone finish that we thought would finish this men's race, but in a 2-person race, much like it was on the women's side, both of those performances, new lifetime bests and a shattering of that Canadian record for Mohammed. I'm going to step aside, Bob, and let you carry on, and I'll head down trackside here for interviews. Be right with you.
Great. Paul will be down there, and we're going to visit with our men's and women's podium and let you hear from them. Going to be a lot of happy people. We should point out that there were 2 other finishers in the men. Mark Scott, 14:13.93. He did finish the race, as did Woody Kincaid, who ran a 14:14. And we thought both of them might be in our racy group, but they chose to back it off tonight. But next time we're out here, I bet we have another 5,000 in our next event. And I bet those guys, it may be their turn to run for the big time. But some excellence here in Portland tonight. We hope you enjoyed it. Stick around. We will have interviews in just a couple of minutes with our men and our women. So just to recap, the 1-2 finish in the women, top 15 marks all time in the women's meet for Shelby Houlihan and Carisha Schweitzer. And Houlihan lowering her American record to 14:23.92, and Schweitzer also beating the old American record 14:26.34, and just completed Mohammed. Oh, Canada resets his mark, destroys it 12:47.20, and Lopez Lamong improves his PR, goes 12:58.78. More to come from the Portland Inter-Squad Meet 2. Again, don't go anywhere. Interviews coming up. You're watching USATF.tv.
Thanks very much, Bob. It was great to talk to the women after their successful run, and the guys did not disappoint. Mo, before we talk about the Canadian record, and you now number 10 all time on a list of some pretty amazing runners over the years. Just talk about, watch the women. You see them do what they do. Does that kind of like, oh, we got to come up with something big tonight?
Yeah, it definitely put the pressure on us, but I don't know. Like, it was kind of weird. I was super nervous before that, and just the way that they attacked that and how, Shelby finished over the last 600 meters, and Chris was right there with her. And once I saw that, I was like, just do the same kind of thing, Stay composed. Stay composed. Let your teammates do the work for you as much as they can. And then once it's your turn, just, I just said, here we go. And just attack it, stay smooth, stay relaxed, stay calm, stay on top of your stride, and just try and bring it home. And with 2 laps to go, I saw it was something 40, I don't know, like, what was it, 10:40 something, 40, 48, 49, and I was just like, you can run too flat. You know what I'm saying? Like, just, you've done too flat all your life, so just try and do that. And yeah, that's what I tried doing. And I just kept hearing 60, 60s, which is what I wanted to hear, and that just kind of helped me build momentum. And I just got to like 200 meters to go, and I just said blast it, try and blast it as hard as you could. And yeah, I'm excited. It's something that I've been working really, really hard for. It's been an extremely challenging year. Right now I'm speaking with you, but honestly, like, I don't even know where the hell I am, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like I've had that feeling for the last 4 months. And luckily we have a good group, great training partners, and we just stick with it, tried like coming up with challenges, and it was great to deliver this.
Yeah, and another record, and one again. You just put so much distance between you and the rest of your Canadian field. So you send a message, kind of thinking long term about next year in the Olympics.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, last year, like, it was like big breakthrough, sub 13, sub 27, and then I made the podium. And this year I just said no limits. Like, that was, I really like, I'm content with where I am in my life. I'm hungry, obviously, but I wanted to get a medal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to win the Olympics, and for that to get postponed, I just told myself, try and like bridge the gap. You know what I'm saying? Like, mentally, all the barriers. I saw those guys run 12:43, like 2 years ago, and I was kind of like distraught after seeing that, how easy they made it look. So last year, once I made the podium, I just said, you gotta get yourself like that, 12:40 something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta mentally give yourself the hope. You know what I'm saying? That when you line up with those guys, you can stand shoulder to shoulder with those guys and say, hey, I'm a 12:40 something guy, 12:50 guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can beat these guys. So that's what I just wanted to do, and it's good to do it. So yeah, excited.
Well, we go back to September, Lopez, and Mo was there as well. We had this phenomenal experience, really a wonderful celebration of the sport at the Nike campus for that 5,000, where Woody kind of was the star. You come so close to that sub 13. Was it grinding on you all this time? I mean, what does this mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's I give all the credit to my teammates. I don't think I would be able to do this without my teammates. I think, sometimes when you're just working, grinding and things like that, you see your teammate, sweating out there and doing everything they can. We're all building from each other. I think, seeing Woody breaking 13 last year, and I think it's a great thing to be able to, like, kind of like said, hey, I want to be able to break that too. And I think, I saw Mo broke in Rome, and then Woody came out and did the same thing, and Mo did like all the work for Woody to do that. And today is just another like stepping stone for that, like, trying to like get to that, like, okay, break the 13. Once you break the 13, then you work on that thing, and I think today is a big moment, and I want to thank all my teammates for doing this, and everybody who came here to like support us. And I know it's not big crowd here, but again, we just go out there and work together. It's a great thing to come out and like break 13 tonight.
Yeah, well, the good news is there was a big crowd at home watching, and I guess in that sense, and you've been such an inspiration to so many who follow the sport, who run in the sport. What message do you send to kind of the everyday runner or the young runner who's watching at home, who says, man, this is, I lost my senior year, or I'm not able to compete in some of these meets that I was looking forward to. You guys have just come out and said, pandemic, screw you, I'm going to run fast. And that's an important message, I think.
Yeah, I think, I think that the message to the young guys is like, don't set your limit. And sometimes we all go through a little bit hiccup and things like that. Use that as your things that you can work on, few things that you want to be strong in. And so I think we are all in this together, and just trying to see like what would be the next opportunity, and don't limit yourself to just say like, okay, I'm just gonna put all my season in a bucket and call it a year. So go out there and work the best you can. I think everything once we pass this thing, I want you to come here and do well. And so I think again, we set up and we're not be able to run something, and we kind of just like throw the season out, and because Olympics was fun, and so I just trying to do something together, and here we are.
Yeah, well, it was very entertaining, and thank you guys both for